Welcome to Business Purpose and Clarity with Petri. I'm your host. We talk about startup life, insights, practical tips, mistakes, failures, and everything between. Have you done VC rounds? Have you done angel rounds? Do you have a company where you have other people's money? Well, this is for you. I've seen it too many times. I hope you don't make the same mistake. I've seen too many times, so many times, and still do. And I'm mentioning it, and yet I see it happening. And it's unfortunate because it's so big thing for the company, for the fundraising, and it's so small thing actually to do it right. Well, what I'm talking about today is you have to change, and you have to realize that the expectations are changing along the ride you are with your company. First, when you start, it's quite casual. You just have a nice pitch and vision, and then you throw maybe some slides, and it's all about your team and your big grand idea. And that's how you get the money. Because there isn't much more. Later, when you're doing the pre-seed or seed round, it's sort of the same with a small upgrade. You show something, what you have, maybe your MVP, stuff like that. But it's mainly how you've been spending your money. It's not so much how the market has approved your product, because you have a relatively, oftentimes, well, in really good cases you have, but let's take the normal case. Many times you don't have that much of attraction yet. You cannot show too much of a customer satisfaction, and the numbers are not that great in revenues or in the customer acquisition side. But that's okay, because that's where you are. You're in the seed stage. So you throw a few more slides, you show some projections already, and that's how you get the money. That's where you get the big round, maybe a few VCs already in. But it's still kind of casual. But you have to have something going. And here's the thing. The next time you're going to get funding, well, it could be like a late seed. You call it late seed because you haven't matured to the Series A, meaning you don't have enough traction. Maybe the product took a bit longer to build. The numbers are not yet there. You haven't have monetization, sales. You're just still figuring out how to do that. It doesn't scale. You are kind of, I wouldn't say late, but you haven't progressed in a manner that would actually enable you to get to the Series A. The funding stages are not really about the times you go for a round. They're more like how mature you are as a company. You cannot get to the scale stage before you can actually scale. You cannot get to the big amounts of money for the things you haven't achieved, and the investors are not willing to take the risk if they don't see that what you're doing is actually getting where they want you to be in order for them to make their money and the company to get bigger. So the risk, the issue I'm talking about here is that when you are in this seed stage and you're doing late seed, or you actually jumping to the Series A, you haven't upgraded your mindset. You haven't upgraded your slides and the approach. You've been just upgrading it just a tiny bit, like incrementally. But it doesn't work anymore. The game has changed fundamentally. The nice stories, all the nice things and the ideas and stuff which worked before, they don't have the same impact anymore. You have to start to show some real stuff, the hard stuff. The revenues, the customer acquisitions, things from the market that you cannot just throw into the slide deck without any backing from the numbers. This means that you have to change the approach. You have to start to do things in a way that takes time, serious effort, and if you're not showing things what investors are expecting, you are getting ice bucket challenges, you are getting cold showers, and it's making harder to raise the funds. It's the same thing for your existing investors. They might be nice persons, they might be supporting you all the way, but there's a limit to that as well. If you are not starting to show the results you've been promising them, if you're starting to dilute the company over and over again, they might lose their patience, they might lose their cool with you because it seems that you are not going forward. And they're diluting their state, or maybe even seeing that they are risk of losing the whole investment. And the worst thing is that if you're doing this type of mistake, it's in many cases, it's something you can repair and fix, but you take a serious hit in your reputation, in the expectations, and in the trust into your company. This is something you can avoid by not being overconfident, because I think that's the worst thing what you can do. Showing overconfidence, unpreparedness. You haven't done your homework. You're going too casually to the meetings. You're expecting to get the same thing and doing it the same way you did it in the past. But it doesn't work like that. I hope you're not making that mistake a lot of entrepreneurs are doing. Please upgrade your game while you still can.